You want open world games that don't feel like homework? Good, because I'm sick of lazy map marker simulators. These 18 actually respect your time while stealing hundreds of hours from you. Okay, so Elden Ring is basically Dark Souls on steroids mixed with Lord of the Rings, and yeah, it's gonna kick your butt. Hard. Like, you're gonna die hundreds of times, and that's not me being dramatic. But here's the thing. When you finally beat that boss that's been destroying you for 3 hours, you'll feel like an absolute legend. The world is massive. You can literally wander in any direction and find something trying to murder you in creative ways. Dragons? Check. Giant crabs? Yep. A dog with a sword in its mouth? Why not? The best part? You can skip bosses you hate and come back later when you're stronger. It's like the game says, hey, can't beat me? Go explore literally anywhere else and get better. The graphics are stunning, the combat feels weighty and brutal, and every corner has some nightmare waiting to ruin your day. Is it frustrating? Absolutely. Will you throw your controller? Probably. Is it worth it? 100%. Just remember, dying isn't failing, it's learning. And you're gonna learn a lot. This game is basically what happens when developers decide to make the most realistic Wild West simulator ever. And I mean everything is realistic. Your horse poops, your beard grows, you need to eat food or Arthur gets skinny. It's nuts. You play as Arthur Morgan, this tough outlaw who's way more interesting than he looks. And you're running with a gang that's falling apart faster than your grandma's old computer. The world is so detailed it's almost annoying, in a good way. You can spend 3 hours just hunting deer, fishing, or playing poker in a saloon. The story? It'll punch you right in the feelings. I'm talking actual tears, people. The shooting feels amazing, the horses are beautiful, and you can literally do anything. Rob trains, help strangers, start bar fights, or just ride around enjoying sunsets that look better than real life. Yeah, it's slow sometimes. Yeah, you spend a lot of time riding horses, but it's the closest thing to actually living in 1899 without dying from dysentery. Just be ready for a long game. We're talking 60 plus hours here. Alright, so you're Geralt, this white-haired dude who hunts monsters for money and has the personality of a grumpy cat. But he's actually pretty cool once you get past the constant frowning. This game is huge. Like, stupidly huge. You could play for 200 hours and still find new stuff. The main story is about finding Geralt's adopted daughter before these evil ice elves do, and it's actually really good. But the side quests? They're better than most games' main stories. Every random villager has problems that turn into full adventures. The combat is all about timing. You swing swords, cast magic, and throw bombs at werewolves and vampires. It's like if someone made a dark fantasy movie but let you control everything. The choices you make actually matter too. Save this person? Cool, but maybe that causes a war later. Oops! The world has 3 massive maps. Swamps, islands, mountains, and all of them are packed with things to do. Yeah, the controls feel a bit clunky at first, and Geralt moves like a tank sometimes, but stick with it. This is one of those games people still talk about years later for a reason. Web swinging through New York has never felt this good. Seriously, just moving around is so fun you might forget there's actually a story. This time, you play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales, switching between them, and both have different powers. Peter gets this wild black symbiote suit that makes him super powerful, but also kinda angry and mean. Miles shoots electricity and turns invisible, which is sick. The story pits you against Kraven the Hunter, this big game hunter who's hunting superpowered people for sport. And Venom shows up and he's terrifying, like genuinely scary. The combat is fast, flashy, and makes you feel like you're in a Spider-Man movie. You're dodging bullets, web-striking enemies, and doing crazy aerial combos. The city is alive. Crimes happening everywhere, side missions with actual stories, and collectibles that don't feel like boring homework. Both Spider-Men have their own skill trees, gadgets, and suits to unlock. The graphics are jaw-dropping, especially the ray-traced reflections. My only complaint? It's shorter than the first game, but what's here is absolutely spectacular. See what I did there? Had to make at least one Spider-Man joke. This game makes you feel like you're the star of the coolest samurai movie ever made. You're Jin Sakai, and Mongolia just invaded your island, killed a bunch of samurai, including most of your friends, and now you gotta save Tsushima. But here's the twist. Traditional samurai honor isn't working, so Jin becomes the ghost. Basically a ninja who uses fear and sneaky tactics. The combat is beautiful. Sword fights feel like deadly dances where one mistake and you're dead. You can challenge enemies to standoffs, which are these intense quick-draw duels. Or you can stealth around, assassinating fools before they know you're there. The island itself is absolutely gorgeous. Rolling fields, bamboo forests, orange leaves everywhere. And the wind. Instead of map markers, the wind literally guides you to objectives. It's genius. You can play the entire game with a Japanese voice track and make it look like an old samurai film with filters. The story hits hard emotionally, especially your relationship with your uncle who's all about honor while you're becoming this legend through methods he hates. Plus, there's an Iki Island expansion that adds even more content. It's slower paced than some games, but that's the point. It's about atmosphere, beauty, and becoming a legendary warrior. So you're Aloy, this red-haired archer living in a future where robot dinosaurs rule the earth and humans are back to using bows and spears? Yeah, it's as awesome as it sounds. The first game was great, but Forbidden West? It's bigger, prettier, and has way more robot animals to fight. We're talking robot mammoths, robot pterodactyls, and even robot snakes. The combat is all about strategy. Every machine has weak points you gotta hit with specific arrows or traps. Just running and swinging will get you stomped flat. The story takes Aloy to the Forbidden West, basically post-apocalyptic California and Nevada, to stop a plague that's killing all plant life. Sounds heavy, but it's actually really engaging. The graphics are insane. Like, this game makes the PS5 actually earn its price tag. Underwater sections are gorgeous and not annoying for once. You can climb almost everything, glide around, and ride robot dinosaurs like horses. The side content is massive. Tribes to help, rebel camps to clear, ancient ruins to explore. My only gripe? Sometimes Aloy talks to herself too much, explaining puzzles before you can figure them out. Let me think, Aloy, but honestly, fighting a robot T-Rex with a bow never gets old. GTA 5 came out in 2013 and it's still one of the best open-world games ever made. That's how good this thing is. You play as 3 different criminals. Michael, the retired bank robber with family problems, Franklin, the young guy trying to make it big, and Trevor, who is absolutely, completely, totally insane. Like, he's the kind of guy who eats people and doesn't think twice about it. The best part? You can switch between all 3 during missions and free roam. The heists are incredible. You plan robberies, pick your crew, choose your approach, and execute these massive jobs. Los Santos, their version of Los Angeles, is packed with stuff to do. Steal cars, fly planes, buy properties, play tennis, do yoga, race motorcycles, or just cause absolute chaos. The satire is hilarious too. The game makes fun of social media, Hollywood, politics, everything. Yeah, it's violent. Yeah, it's mature rated for a reason. The story missions are varied and exciting, never boring. And GTA Online is still going strong with constant updates. Sure, the graphics are showing their age a bit, but the gameplay holds up perfectly. This is the game that proves you don't need next-gen graphics to be timeless. Just excellent design in a world that feels truly alive. Finally, we got the Harry Potter game we always wanted. You're a 5th-year student at Hogwarts. Yeah, starting late, awkward. But you've got this ancient magic power that nobody else has. The plot involves goblin rebellions, dark wizards, and secrets that could change the wizarding world. But honestly, the story is just an excuse to live at Hogwarts. And that is where this game shines. Attending classes is actually fun. Herbology, potions, charms. You learn spells that you'll actually use in combat and exploration. The castle is massive and filled with secrets, puzzles, and hidden rooms. You can explore the Forbidden Forest, Hogsmeade Village, and the countryside around the school. The combat is way better than expected. You're dodging spells, countering attacks, and combining magic in creative ways. Turning enemies into chickens never stops being funny. You can customize your character, your room, even brew illegal potions if you want. The house system matters. Your common room, some quests, and companions change based on your choice. Is it perfect? Nah. The story drags sometimes and enemy camps get repetitive. But flying on a broomstick over the Scottish Highlands? Discovering the Room of Requirement? Petting magical beasts? This is the Hogwarts experience fans waited decades for. Okay, real talk. This game launched as a complete disaster. Bugs everywhere, crashes, broken promises. It was bad. But after years of updates and the Phantom Liberty expansion, it's actually amazing now. You're V, a mercenary in Night City, trying to survive after a heist goes catastrophically wrong. And now you've got a digital ghost of a dead rockstar terrorist living in your head. Yeah, it's weird. Night City is one of the most detailed game cities ever made. Neon everywhere, gangs controlling districts, corpo towers scraping the sky, and poverty in the streets below. It's beautiful and depressing. The shooting and combat feel great now. You can go in guns blazing, hack everything remotely, or sneak through air vents like a cyber ninja. Your choices actually change the story in big ways, and there are multiple endings. The characters are incredibly well written. Johnny Silverhand, Pan Am, Judy, you'll actually care about these people. The side quests rival the main story in quality. Some of them are just, wow, emotional gut punches. Is it still buggy sometimes, a little? Is it what was originally promised? Not quite. But what's here now is a fantastic RPG with a world that feels alive, dangerous, and worth exploring. Just make sure you're playing the current version, not the 2020 mess. This is the weirdest game on this list, hands down. You're a delivery man in post-apocalyptic America trying to reconnect isolated cities by delivering packages. I know that sounds boring, but stick with me. The world ended because of these things called beached things. Ghosts, basically, and rain that ages everything it touches. So humanity lives in bunkers, and you're Sam Porter Bridges, walking across mountains and rivers delivering supplies. The traversal is the gameplay. You plan routes, build roads and bridges with other players, balance your cargo, and avoid ghost monsters and terrorist porters. It sounds tedious, but it's weirdly addictive and zen, like a hiking simulator mixed with horror elements. The story is bonkers. Time-traveling babies, dimension-hopping assassins, your boss is your mom, and everyone cries black tears. Director Hideo Kojima went full weird, and I respect it. The director's cut adds new weapons, vehicles, and a racing mode because why not? The graphics are stunning. Iceland never looked so good. And the soundtrack? Perfection. Is it for everyone? Absolutely not. Walking simulator haters will bounce off immediately. But if you want something completely different that respects your intelligence and patience, Death Stranding delivers, literally. This is basically Spider-Man 2's younger brother, but don't let that fool you. Miles is awesome. It's shorter, yeah. Takes place during winter in New York and focuses entirely on Miles Morales, figuring out how to be Spider-Man while Peter is away. The stakes feel more personal and neighborhood-focused rather than world-ending, and honestly, that's refreshing. Miles has electric venom powers that make combat feel completely different from Peter. You're zapping enemies, turning invisible, and doing these explosive venom attacks that look absolutely sick. The story deals with his mom running for office, an energy corporation doing shady stuff, and Miles trying to protect his community in Harlem. It's got heart, real emotional weight. The web swinging is just as good as the main games. Maybe better because the snow-covered city looks gorgeous. The soundtrack is phenomenal too, mixing orchestral music with hip-hop beats that fit Miles perfectly. Yeah, it's only about 15 hours for the main story, but there's no filler. Every mission matters. Think of it as a really high-quality expansion rather than a full sequel. The PS5 version runs at 60 FPS with ray tracing, and it's smooth. If you want Spider-Man action without the 30-hour commitment, Miles delivers big time. This game is pure chaos, and I mean that in the best way possible. You create your character and a companion called a pawn who fights alongside you. Then you go out into this massive fantasy world fighting dragons, griffins, and cyclopses. The combat is insane. You can climb on giant monsters Shadow of the Colossus style, stabbing them while they try to shake you off. Playing as a mage, you're casting meteor storms. Archer? Explosive arrows, it's wild. Here's the crazy part, the world doesn't wait for you. Shops close at night, NPCs have schedules. If you kill an important quest giver, they're dead, permanently, no respawns. The game just continues without them. Brutal but realistic. Travel is actually dangerous. Nighttime is pitch black and filled with undead monsters. You will get lost. You will die in stupid ways, but that's part of the charm. The pawn system is genius. You recruit other players' pawns to help you, and they learn from their experiences and share knowledge. The story is honestly kind of weird and confusing, but you're here for the gameplay anyway. Fighting a griffin mid-flight while it's carrying you into the sky? Incredible. Performance can be rough in cities though, frame rate drops hard. But if you want a fantasy RPG that feels truly dangerous and unpredictable, this is it. Vikings, you're Eivor, and yeah, you can pick male or female, leading your clan from Norway to England during the Viking invasion. It's massive. Like, too big, honestly. The map is enormous. There are hundreds of collectibles, and you could easily spend 100 hours here. The combat is brutal and satisfying. You're dual-wielding axes, smashing shields, and raiding monasteries with your crew. Those raids are so fun. You blow a horn, your Vikings charge in, you loot everything while fighting guards. It's mayhem. The settlement system is cool too. You build up your own Viking town, constructing buildings that unlock new features and quests. The story jumps between historical events and this weird sci-fi Assassin's Creed mythology stuff with Norse gods. It's hit or miss. Some story arcs are amazing, others drag forever. England is beautiful though. Rolling green hills, Roman ruins, medieval cities. The problem? It's too long. The game doesn't respect your time. Missions can feel repetitive after 50 hours and there's just too much side content. But exploring Viking Age England, building alliances, and living that Norse warrior fantasy, really satisfying. Just be ready to commit serious time or accept you'll never see everything. That's okay though, not every game needs to be completed. This game got way too much hate when it launched. Yeah, it was buggy and unpolished, but now, it's actually a really solid zombie game. You're Deacon St. John, this gruff biker riding through post-apocalyptic Oregon on your motorcycle, which is basically your best friend. You upgrade it, fuel it, repair it, that bike matters. The zombies here are called freakers, and they're fast. And they travel in hordes. We're talking hundreds of them swarming together. Fighting a horde is absolutely terrifying and exhilarating. You're setting traps, using explosives, running away screaming, then turning around to fight when you can. It's intense. The story is surprisingly good. Deacon is trying to survive while searching for his wife who might be dead. It's emotional, sometimes slow, but the characters grow on you. Oregon is gorgeous. Forests, mountains, caves, and the weather actually affects gameplay. The human enemies are just as dangerous as zombies with cults and militias everywhere. My issues? It starts slow. The first 10 hours drag. And yes, some missions are repetitive. Clear this camp, rescue this person, again and again. But once it clicks and you're battling your first massive horde, you'll get why people love it. It's underrated. Not perfect, but way better than its reputation suggests. Remember when this game launched in 2016 and everyone absolutely destroyed it for being a disappointing mess with missing features? Well, the developer spent years fixing it, and now it's actually the game that was originally promised. Maybe even better. You explore procedurally generated planets, meaning the game creates them randomly, so there are literally billions of unique worlds. Some have weird alien creatures, some are toxic wastelands, some are paradise planets with beautiful oceans. You mine resources, build bases, upgrade your ship and suit, and just explore infinity. The survival loop is addictive. Gather materials, craft better gear, explore further, repeat. You can play solo or with friends, build elaborate bases, or become a space pirate attacking other ships. The updates added so much. Base building, multiplayer, living ships, underwater exploration, mechs, settlements you can govern. It's nuts how much content there is now. Here's the thing though, it can feel lonely and repetitive. After you've seen 50 planets, they start blending together. The combat is basic and the story is trippy philosophical stuff that's not for everyone. But if you want to chill out, explore alien worlds and build your own space empire at your own pace, this is meditation in video game form, just pure exploration and discovery. The comeback story alone makes it worth respecting. This is basically Ubisoft saying, what if we made Breath of the Wild but with Greek mythology? And you know what? It actually works. You're Phoenix, this plucky hero trying to save the Greek gods from a curse that turned them into whiny, powerless versions of themselves. Zeus and Prometheus narrate the whole thing like a comedy show, constantly bickering and making jokes. It's genuinely funny. The world is colorful and cartoonish, bright blue skies, golden fields, and mythical creatures everywhere. You're fighting minotaurs, medusas, and cyclops with swords, axes, and godly powers. The combat is simple but satisfying. Dodge, attack, use abilities. Nothing groundbreaking, but it works. The puzzles, though, that's where this game shines. Vaults of Tartaros are basically shrines filled with platforming and brain-teaser challenges. Some are easy, some will make you want to throw your controller. The traversal is fun, too. You glide everywhere, climb anything, and sprint across the gorgeous Greek islands. Stamina management matters, so you're constantly upgrading. The customization is wild. You can make Phoenix look however you want, changing hairstyles, armor, and even gender whenever. Is it revolutionary? Nah. Does it borrow heavily from other games? Absolutely, but it's charming, colorful, and doesn't take itself seriously. Sometimes you just want to fight mythological monsters and laugh at Zeus being a terrible dad. This delivers that perfectly. Parkour plus zombies equals awesome, and this game proves it. You're Aiden, running across rooftops in a city that's basically been taken over by the infected. During the day, you're parkouring everywhere, climbing buildings, jumping between roofs, using grappling hooks. It feels amazing. Like Mirror's Edge, but with zombie head smashing. Nighttime, though, that's when it gets scary. The infected become super aggressive, and these special monsters called volatiles hunt you down. They're fast, deadly, and will absolutely wreck you. Running at night is pure adrenaline. You're sprinting for safe zones while these things chase you through the darkness. The combat is melee-focused. You're using pipes, machetes, and improvised weapons that break over time. You can mod them too. Electrify a bat. Add fire to a sword. The story is about factions fighting for control of the city, and your choices decide who wins. The zones you give to different groups actually change the city. It matters. The map is huge with 2 massive districts to explore. My complaints? The story is kind of forgettable, and some characters are annoying. The co-op is fantastic though. Playing with friends makes everything better. Yeah, the first Dying Light had better atmosphere, but this one has way more content and better movement. If you want to feel like a parkour master while bashing zombie heads, this is your game. Alright, here's a game that will make you terrified of the ocean. You crash land on an alien water planet, and your escape pod lands in a beautiful shallow reef. Seems peaceful, right? Wrong. Everything in the deep ocean wants to eat you, and you've got to survive, explore, and figure out what happened to this planet. The survival mechanics are tense. You need oxygen, food, water, and you're constantly managing resources. You start with basic tools, then build underwater bases, submarines, and scanning alien technology. The progression feels great. Every upgrade opens new depths to explore, and man, those depths are scary. The game doesn't hold your hand. There's no map, no quest markers. You figure out where to go by reading clues and exploring. Going deeper means darker water, bigger predators, and way more danger. When you first encounter a Reaper Leviathan, this massive serpent thing, you'll actually jump. Guaranteed. The story is surprisingly good too, uncovering what happened to the previous research team through environmental storytelling. The crafting can be grindy sometimes, and inventory management is annoying, but the sense of discovery? Incredible. Every biome feels unique and alien. Just remember, if the water looks dark and you hear roaring, turn around. Swimming into the void is a bad idea. This game proves you don't need zombies or shooters to be terrifying. The ocean does that just fine. So there you have it. 18 open-world games that won't waste your time. Well, they'll waste your time, but in a good way. Look, I know some of you are mad I didn't include your favorite game. That's fine. You're wrong, but that's fine. Drop your picks in the comments and tell me why I'm an idiot. I actually read those. If this helped you find your next obsession, smash that like button. Subscribe if you want more PS5 game lists without the corporate nonsense. And seriously, pick one game from this list and actually finish it before buying 5 more. I know how you people operate. Your backlog is already embarrassing. Now get out there and get lost in these worlds. You've got games to play?